inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my...
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Sorry, I'm late. I didn't even realize I was late. I thought I had this scheduled for 8:35, y'all. And then I just looked at the time because I made this last night. But welcome in, everybody. I am still feeling a little under the weather, so I'm not on camera tonight. But I wanted to come on because I missed you guys. I feel like, shoot, 2 days off in a row. And I almost took tonight off. I don't know what's going on with me. I don't think I'm sick. Like, it's weird. I don't know what's going on. It's just, I'm just under the weather. That's the best way to describe it. Like, I don't have a cough. I don't have my nose runs a little bit here and there, but I mean, what's new, what's new? So I'm like getting the tissues off my desk, but what's new, with that's what I always have. So, I canceled a couple of doctor's appointments this week and I've just been taking it easy. And then hopefully by this weekend, I'll snap out of it. I don't know. But I'm so sorry that I'm late. By the way, my name is Tanya or Titanium Built. If you are new to the channel, I normally am on camera, but tonight I'm just not feeling that great. Even though I did straighten my hair and everything, I still did it all. I just didn't put makeup on. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Laura. Hey, Kathy. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Catherine. It's good to see you guys. Hey, Casey. Hey, Ladybug. I bet everyone's like, where has this girl been? Hey, Lord, did I miss someone named Brian? I must have. Oh, I must have. Well, welcome in, Brian. And things, yeah. Casey's like, I don't know. She might be sleeping. Whenever I saw that message, I was like, uh-oh, am I late? Hey, PKC. And on our next live, we're going to go over, I want to be in tip-top condition. William put out another video. I was like, oh, goody. Hey, PKC. I don't even know who all I've said hi to yet. I think I've said hi to everybody up there. You guys are just chit-chatting and waiting on me. Hey, Dion. Welcome in. Hey, Ashley. Thanks for messaging me today. I meant to text you back. I saw it, and I was like, oh, that was so nice. I was like half asleep. I was taking a nappy nap, which I never do. So if I'm not cleaning this house left and right and doing all the things, then I don't feel good. And then go hide in the bushes. That's what I was going to do. Yeah, we're going to listen to a podcast tonight. So I figured, that'll be like something that is a little bit easier on me too, because, podcasts are just easier. But this is going to be one of our last podcasts. Kind of sad about it. No, I mean, I'm sure different ones will come out, but I think this one might be concluding. Hey, Reba. It's fast, isn't it, Kathy? It's faster. Hey, Bree, welcome in. Hey, Mary Jane, thank you. Oh, we're in Mercury retrograde. That could be it. I mean, I'm feeling like, I don't even know how to explain it. Dion, I almost thought I was thinking that for a minute today. And I'm like, no, because I just went to the lady doctor and he said everything was fine. Hey, Canvas. I was like, what else could it be? I don't know. I just feel like, and you know what it could be? It could definitely be the changing of the seasons. I've told you guys this has happened to me last year, the year before that, all the years. I get seasonal depression, but I normally don't feel this tired, but I think that's what it is. I think it's just a combination. So I'm just going to take it easy tonight with y'all, and we're going to hang out. We're going to watch the Idaho massacre. So basically, I was like looking through, and I think this is going to be actually the last one. So this is their season 7, but for Idaho, it was their third season. This is episode 12. And the release date on this was November the 5th. So it just came out a couple days ago. In this episode, the host, Courtney Armstrong and Stephanie Lydecker, respond to questions submitted by listeners about the case, covered in the podcast. So they ask questions about the investigation, the evidence, the media, the legal handling, victims' families, and the process of creating the podcast. So some of the major questions that they do ask, a listener from Denver asks about the selfies that Kohlberger took before and after, before versus after the murders. And then also someone talks about his sister being a potential witness and just the additional evidence beyond, what did they have beyond the DNA and the knife sheath, to convict Brian Kohlberger? Because there's a lot of people that have a lot of questions still. This will provide sort of a closure for the podcast series. I mean, we'll see how we feel at the end. We'll see how we feel. But we did do 2 seasons of this, and I'm going to have them all. I have them all pre-recorded. Also, like, just if you go under the Idaho Massacre podcast, like the playlist under my videos, all these episodes will be there, except for the last 4, which I'll have those out throughout this week. So you'll be able to listen to them or whatever you guys want to do. And I'm going to go and start the podcast. I will put up pictures that you have something to look at, like an overlay. That way we have something to look at. It's not just this here. But like I said, the 2 hosts that are on here are Courtney Armstrong, Stephanie Lydecker, and also Bonnie Movin usually joins them. I usually listen to these before I come on, but I didn't listen to this one. So we're going to listen to it together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit play. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button. It really helps. It's good seeing everybody in here. And then I was getting scared too, because they say I don't know how I was watching this stuff about YouTube, but it was something about if you don't use your page, if I weren't to come, if I were to take I don't know how long I'd have to take off before it would take me out of the algorithm, but I guess it'll take you out if you're not posting like you normally do. And so I'm oh, I better get back on there. Hey, Tracy. And I wish it was summer all the time here. Vincent, we got snow the other day. It was 2 days before the snow came, and Vincent was I could handle this weather all year. And then 2 days later, we got snow, and I was are you kidding me? We're moving to California. That'd be funny. I guess even Vincent's mom asked about me. I was oh, that's so sweet. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and then I'll be in the chat with you guys. If you have any questions over this case at all, just let me know, and I'll answer them in the chat as well. Or if I don't know the answer, we'll look them up.
Out of options and out of time.
Why did the prosecutor?
I was going to listen to it and then I did it, so let me go back.
Bombshell development, Brian Kohlberger appearing set to accept a plea deal just 5 weeks before his quadruple murder trial was set to start. Brian Kohlberger was simply out of options and out of time.
Why did the prosecution take this? They were holding all the cards.
He essentially gets to live rent-free, no expenses for the rest of his life, and we call that justice. It's insane.
This is The Idaho Massacre, a production of KT Studios and iHeartRadio. Season 3, Episode 12, Listener Questions. I'm Courtney Armstrong, a producer at KT Studios, along with Stephanie Lydecker, Bonnie Movin, and Allison Bankston, who you'll hear reading the questions. We're starting off with Jack from Denver, Colorado.
So the first one we have here, and I know you guys have had a chance to go through all of these recently released selfies that came out a few weeks ago. I think, oh man, there's got to be around 60 or more. They're quite bizarre. And Jack is wondering, when you look at these selfies, how do you feel about them? And what do you think they say about Brian Kohlberger's mindset before and after the murders?
Yeah, there is a noticeable difference between the selfies Brian Kohlberger took prior to November 13th, 2022, and after November 13th, 2022. And in the selfies pre-murder, he seems like he's hiking, he's out, he's doing things, he's taking pictures of himself that seem kind of normal. He's eating dinner. And then in the selfies after the murder, he's posing. He's looking at his body, he's flexing, he's pulling his hair back, he's making faces. It's almost as if he's seeing himself for the first time. And I don't know what to make of that. It's almost as if doing this was something he was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be this murderer. And it gave him confidence in something. And the idea that he was getting away with it.
I was just going to say, because of the randomness of this case, or this, again, there doesn't appear to be any logical motive in any way. Was this an attempt for him to actually feel something? I think you say it so correctly. Like,
Don't mean to interrupt him already, but look at those eyebrows on this guy. And then I'm going to show you a picture of him from whenever he was like sentenced. I swear he was doing something to those eyebrows. I hope he comes out and tells us. I hope he tells us what he did. I hope he does. I hope he thinks he's like, oh, I'm so slick, I'm going to tell him everything. I don't think he will, but he might.
it almost appeared, not that I would ever really understand what Brian Koberger was thinking when he took these selfies after the murder, but maybe he was looking to see, do I feel something for the first time? And this is so extreme. What a pathological way to attempt to feel something. Again, we don't really have the answers, but do you recognize yourself for the first time? That to me kind of tracks. And maybe scarier is, do you feel something for the first time?
So the next one we have here is from Kate in Portland, Maine. She was wondering about some of the headlines that came out last week. It was revealed last week that Amanda Koberger, Brian Koberger's sister, she was going to be on the witness list, and people were wondering if this is maybe one of the reasons that Brian Koberger decided to plead guilty. Kate is wondering, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Amanda's possible presence at trial had anything to do with him deciding to plea? And if not, why do you think he decided to plea?
The court filings recently revealed that Amanda Koberger was listed as a potential witness for the prosecution, right? And, according to all these reports, this list occurred just a few days before Brian accepted this plea deal that avoided this full trial that would have brought her to the stand. I personally don't think it had anything to do with him pleading guilty at all. I don't think Brian Koberger has the emotional ability to put his family's, comfort level above his own. I think that it was more of saving his life because the judge had been denying motion after motion after motion that the defense was presenting. The defense had presented the alibi defense, the third-party culpability defense. They kept asking for continuances because of the media, and it just kept getting denied. And at the last motion hearing that got denied, the judge said the last best offer is due at the end of the month. And that's when Brian pled guilty. I don't think it had anything to do with Amanda Koberger.
I completely concur. I think that's exactly right.
To that extent, we've spoken to so many legal experts who have really weighed in on this throughout the years. And many have said, including Stephen Greenberg, who was a contributor in this podcast, season 1 and 2, who recently passed away, and our hearts go out. They called it from day one that the alibi would not have held up and that there was enough damning information, maybe not for the death penalty, but for penalty in general. So it's unknowable. I guess that's the stuff we all kind of still want to know, right? What was that alibi all about? Where was that concocted? Was that concocted? Is that something that he actually used to do?
I think Brian Koberger has gotten away with a lot of crap his whole life, and I think he thought he was going to be able to get away with this. And that the judge was just going to believe, oh, okay, this was his alibi. I'm going to accept this as his defense, and he's going to be able to present it in court.
Which is technically their job. They have to sell up whatever the alibi is that's given. It's not the defense attorney's job to be able to concoct an alibi. If someone's giving the alibi and they're shaking their heads, yes, that this is what the alibi is, there's no turning back from that.
Here's all the photos I've taken hiking. And remember, the Dateline leak mentioned that the friends saw, him out there, and he made it a point to run up to them and be like, hey, remember me? I'm Brian Koberger. He was preparing for this the entire time.
I missed that part, but I got the end of it because I was letting the dogs in. But that's what I was saying was I thought that, remember the guy from the pool party, he was like Hawaiian looking. He was real cute. He's Hawaiian looking. He had like longer hair. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's the one that saw Brian at the pool party and was like, he's kind of like weird or whatever, just like met him through a friend. I think he met him through Christian. And then saw him at that Wawa or whatever that trail was called. And I think that what Brian was going to try to do was get that guy to say, yeah, I witnessed him there hiking before. It's not out of the realm of possibilities that he would have been hiking there that night. But I don't think it got that far because I think Judge Hippler shut that down real fast.
Do you think he was panicked the entire time after the murders? Like when he was walking around Costco with coffee, when he was returning to the crime scene in the hours after the murders, when he went home to mom and dad? Is he looking over his shoulder the entire time, petrified, knowing that at any moment the doorbell was about to ring and he was a had man?
You're all nodding your head.
I don't think so. I think he was cool as a cucumber. I think the further he got away from Idaho, the better he felt.
I don't know. I'm no more in his head than you guys are, but I could go 50-50 on that. He could have been cool as a cucumber, and I did what I set out to do. I am so much smarter than anyone around. There's no universe they're going to find me. And he may have been in a state of peace and bliss. I don't know.
I think once he realized he left the sheath, there was a moment of panic, but I think he probably thought, oh, I cleaned it so well. Not realizing the nooks and crannies in that snap, right? I think initially he was like, yeah, I'm good. Even though I left the sheath, I'm good. As time went on, and now they've got the Hyundai, right? I think as time went on, he started getting panicked, yeah.
Right. And next we have an email from Jerry in Carmel, California. He's wondering, back in July when the victim impact statements were made, which ones to this day still stand out to you? Which ones really left a lasting impact on you today?
Olivia Gonzalez, unbelievable, a master class. Olivia Gonzalez's victim impact statement, that's Kaylee's older sister, was a master class in how to deal with a narcissist or how to deal with, frankly, anyone who's not giving back the decency and kindness and reciprocity of just answers, basic answers. I think Olivia Gonzalez knocked it out of the park.
I think a beautiful woman smart-mouthing Brian Koberger is exactly what he needed. But I think a lot of people are going to say that Olivia Gonzalez's was the best one because it really was the best one. But I'm going to say
Deedle. Deedle had my little heartstrings going. Maddie's grandma.
Kim Kernodle. And she was the aunt of Xana Kernodle. And she said, the loss of her niece, at first it spurred anger within their family, but recently it's brought them closer. And she said something along the lines of, you united us with your actions. And we have a family and friends now that we never even knew we had. And I have forgiven you. And I thought that was so graceful. I don't know if I would have been able to do that. And I think it took a lot of guts to be different. And I think Kim Kernodle was very different. They were all very impactful. In fact, Steve Gonzalez has kind of said the same thing. Like, we are all united in thinking you are the biggest loser in the world. This theme of uniting and being united against him, I thought was impactful.
One of the victims' aunts.
I mean, yeah, he is getting a little lucky on the interwebs where there is like a few thousand people, I would say, or a couple thousand that think he's innocent. But to those thousands, a couple thousand people, they don't even know how to spell his name. So, and there's that. I see the comment sections of like creators that are pro Brian did not do this, even though he said he did it. But he said he did it because he's what? I don't know why. But those people, I see the comments and I'm just like, wow. I'm sorry, but wow is what comes to my mind. How do you blindly believe something so with all you have? They will sit there if you give them evidence and facts, they will scream at you. You don't know what you're talking about. Have you read the documents? Well, I've read every single one of them. Have you? No, because you can't even spell his name right. His first name. Not talking about the last name.
Actually said to Brian Koberger, if you need an ear to listen, I will be there and I will be a fair listener and I welcome that. And you are forgiven in my heart, or that's all paraphrasing, but that was surprising. And that is an evolved woman who knows how to make her own peace with what is. And that was very generous.
The next question we have here is from Kayla in New York, New York. So in episode 10, we interviewed independent journalist Olivia Vitale and Kaylee Gonsalves' brother, Stephen Gonsalves, about their love story. And they credit KT Studios' documentary, The Idaho Student Murders, with bringing them together. Kayla is wondering, how does it feel to have played a small part in their love story?
We made the documentary, The Idaho Student Murders, which is also airing now on Peacock. And that's where we first met Stephen and Olivia. In some ways, we like to believe in our hearts that Catherine Park, the director, kind of brought them together and was a bit of a unknowing matchmaker. But I can tell you, he was a very different guy even during that interview. And now listening to him post all this excessive amounts of trauma and how he's speaking about the future, and you can hear a lightness in his voice, it's really touching and it's really important.
I think about this all the time. I'm calling it Kaylee's gift. Kaylee Gonsalves is responsible for her brother's happiness. Look at this. I mean, obviously he would never want this to happen, right? But he never would have met the love of his life had it not happened. And maybe that is Kaylee's gift to him.
I would say just the documentary says it all. Frankly, it is the darkest topic that could possibly be discussed, the darkest time in the Gonsalves family. And I find it incredibly inspiring. And frankly, having seen all of it from beginning, middle, and end, I eat it up and I wish them so much happiness.
Let's stop here for a break. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to the Idaho Massacre. I'm Courtney, joined by Stephanie and Body, and we're diving into some of the biggest listener questions you've sent in this season. Our producer, Allison Bankston from KT Studios, is here to read them. This next one comes in from Jake in Lubbock, Texas.
So Jake is saying that, obviously the DNA and on the knife sheath was the biggest thing by far, evidence-wise. But throughout this investigation, what was for you some other big things that make you think there's no way this guy's going to get off?
Oh, I thought he was going to get off time and time again. We debated this to nauseam. I was the last man standing. I could explain away everything. It was also circumstantial, although the totality of the evidence was not great. And the sheath was real hard to explain. But there was a moment that I thought, well, maybe somebody just went to a knife store, like a swap meet, and they purchased a knife. And that knife just happened to be one that Brian Koberger had many years ago. And I know that sounds so silly retrospectively, but I can say for myself, the day we found out that he had ordered that particular knife on Amazon was kind of a jaw dropper and hard to come back from. And I was devastated to find that out.
You really hung your hat on the knife store scenario, and I would try so hard to fight with logic or numbers, and it would seem so implausible. Aside from the knife sheath, that is paramount. It was all of the multiple GPS that he was driving by the house so many times, again, without need or reason that was explained.
I think in order of importance, setting aside the knife sheath, right? Setting aside the DNA, I'm going to go with the cell phone data and the pings and the geolocation data. His phone was pinging near the home. It was turned off, and we learned that it was physically turned off. It wasn't like, the battery didn't die. He turned off the phone in combination with the vehicle surveillance. He was traveling in that direction based on his phone and surveillance video. And then after those things, I think probably the behavioral aspect of things, his search queries, his Reddit posts, his searches for sleeping and unconscious female rape, combining that with cleaning his car, thoroughly and disposing trash throughout the neighborhood. And the totality of the evidence to me, even without the sheath, is pretty compelling.
This next one, we actually got a DM from Tara on Instagram. Her location's unknown, but she wants to know if any listener feedback has surprised you throughout the production of all 3 seasons of this podcast.
The pro burgers very much surprised me. The people who are thinking that Brian Koberger is innocent very much surprised me, because they're looking at really absurd and crazy theories to replace reality.
Thank you, Body. Thank you, Body, for having some, some sense to you.
And, like this underground fight club, and that there were these tunnels that led to the house that the killer snuck out of, and insane things that Steve Gonsalves was running a crypto scam and had his daughter killed. Like, just insane things to me. Those things very much surprised me.
And by the way,
and they're still going hardcore too. I mean, I could probably be entertained just watching somebody's chat. Just like, the theories, there's not even theories in there. Okay. It's like an echo chamber. It's a Brian's innocent. Brian's innocent. Brian's innocent. Brian's innocent. Okay. Well, how? Why did he say he was guilty? Because he's scared of the death penalty. That's why he said he was guilty. Yep. That's what it was. But I thought he had evidence that was going to exonerate himself if he got thrown into prison. Remember? That's what you guys all said in the beginning. Well, if he gets thrown into prison, he has that evidence. It's going to exonerate him. It's going to exonerate him. Okay. They'll be talking about this, exonerate. People will be like, yeah, he's getting exonerated. We'll be hearing this for years to come. He'll never be exonerated.
To that end, it's not as though I didn't personally want Brian Koberger to be guilty. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have tunnel vision. It seemed as though the whole world had decided he was guilty and the media had decided it was him. And frankly, we used to say sometimes behind the scenes, man, what if it's not though? I don't see any active search for anybody else right now. Is it possible that there is some level of tunnel vision here? And while this...
Oh no, there was active searches going on. They were called witch trials and they were happening on the internet.
Circumstantial evidence
That's
is
what it felt
really
like.
hard to explain. Again, in its totality, and when I look at it now in its totality, it's frankly impossible to explain. But we were getting those in breadcrumbs, and at some point, it felt like, well, if it is this guy, then surely he may have struck prior. There does not appear to be any evidence of that, although likely that he was in and out of people's homes. I mean, that in and of itself is extremely scary. And again, we have to really thank law enforcement, because based on what we know today, he would have struck again. And that is a sure thing.
100%. Yeah, I completely agree. And this next one we have here is from Shirley in Fargo, North Dakota. She is wondering, do you think Brian Koberger got a fair shake leading up to his trial? How do you think this case was handled in the press throughout these past 3 years?
Beyond fair.
It's easy to Monday morning quarterback and to say that it was done righteously. Listen, the science were fact and stuck with me that, unlike Stephanie, I'll be honest, I really always thought this was the guy. How is the touch DNA otherwise going to be there? Why is he on this cul-de-sac of a street multiple times when he has no right or business to be there?
No, I just meant he got a very good lawyer. For being a public defender, I've never seen someone be publicly defended like that, ever.
So that was evidence that came out, and I think a lot of the media coverage was based upon those facts, and I feel just fine about that.
I think the combination of this small town dynamic plus the high emotion combined into kind of an unwinnable battle. The case took, place in a really small community in Moscow, Idaho. This deeply affected the students and neighbors and surrounding cities. There was this ripple effect that we talk about. And I do think that given all the media and the coverage from podcast creators to YouTube creators to mainstream media, I think that there could be a case that, a pretty strong case actually, that the media environment made it a lot harder for Brian Koberger to receive the ideal conditions. However, all these things were presented to the judge, but 2 judges in this case. It did get moved to a bigger jurisdiction, and the motions that were supplied to these judges, he did get a fair shake. The judge was able to move it. He agreed and he moved it, and, also said that the media coverage was fair, and also said that they were going to look into the who leaked all these things to the media. So all in all, I think he did get a fair shake, but I think there could be an argument that he didn't.
And listen, we hear this a lot in true crime in general. There is this frenzy from the media that people want answers right away when the crime immediately happens. Imagine people are banging on your door and looking for answers and needing content. And I think we hear often in many of the cases that we work on how traumatic that is as well. And it's something we're all navigating and always trying to do better with. And, hopefully that's seen as people caring, but that also can be kind of a double punch when you're already trying to navigate a really harrowing time.
Perfect. Thank you all. The next one we have is from Eliana in Albuquerque, New Mexico. She is wondering, what do you think it has been like for Brian's family to go through this whole ordeal?
I can't imagine what it would be like to be related to Brian Koberger. Certainly, if you're not in any way anticipating that somebody that you love so deeply is now the guy. This person has now pled. So what does that mean? Honestly, I don't know the answer to that. It is so layered and complicated and nuanced.
I have a little bit of a question. I have an answer for that. Do you think his parents... Okay, so raise your hand if you ever lied to your parents and they knew immediately that you were lying. I'm going to say 100% of the time, my parents knew that I was lying when I was lying to them. So this was such a big case. By the time that he drove back to Pennsylvania in December, it would have been a month out. So I think his family, his mom and dad probably they probably flipped on that news station and heard of the Idaho 4 case. So I can just picture his dad showing up and being like, hey, man, there's a murder. Four college kids were murdered the town over. What's going on with that? You heard anything? I'm pretty sure he would be able to tell if his kid was lying to him. Like, no, I wouldn't. I have no clue what that would be. I mean, I wonder what he would say. No, man, I'm just over here thinking about this murder over on here on Pullman's side. I don't know. Very strange. I think his parents might know he was lying, though. His sister did, I think.
But I can only imagine it's extraordinarily painful and confusing. It's hopefully a position that many of us will never have to understand, but my heart is with them. I feel a lot of compassion for them, and they're grieving too and just trying to piece things together as well.
I imagine that Brian Koberger's family has been in this prolonged sense of limbo, but theirs is like a what if, right? Because I imagine they're probably sitting at home going, there's no way our son or our beloved brother or cousin did this, right? And I'm sure that's going to be with them for the rest of their lives. Being related to somebody causing like such harm to so many people probably means dealing with vicarious trauma too, right? And shame by association, and the sense that their story is now part of this big public narrative they've had no control over and no part in, right?
Absolutely nothing to do with it.
So that's got to be, I just hope that their family is getting nervy.
Let's stop here for a break. We'll be back in a moment. I'm Courtney, here with Stephanie and Body. We're answering a few of the listener questions that have come in throughout the season. KT studio producer Allison Bankston is reading the questions for us.
Our next question comes from Brian in Jacksonville, Florida. He wants to know, what are some key takeaways you have from this case as a whole?
I don't have a solid takeaway just yet. Right now, it's just such a tragic loss. The whole thing, just what a waste that this guy set this tragedy into motion.
Yeah, same. Honestly, it's so senseless. All I could think is, What would Ethan and Xana and Kaylee and Madison be doing today? How happy would their lives be? And where would they be off to?
I'm sure they'd be doing way bigger things than Brian Koberger could ever imagine.
And again, another thing we'll never know because one person decided their life mattered more.
For me, this case underscored how microscopic and digital and behavioral data can converge and build this really convincing and compelling evidentiary web. And my big takeaway from this case is that the totality of evidence is going to matter in cases moving forward, and IGG is going to be involved in more cases moving forward. Now, I know that's not a big emotional takeaway, but
nobody is going to get away with anything. If they start using IGG, like if they could use that like they do regular just DNA, it would be, people would be getting arrested for things they did 40 years ago. I'm all for it.
But it might help with future convictions and stop this from happening in the future. And the ripple effect is one of my big takeaways. There were so many people that weren't related to the victims, that weren't in close proximity to the victims, that were deeply affected by this, deeply affected. And often I think about, I've watched the vehicle surveillance of Brian Koberger circling the King Road house hundreds of times. And I often pause when he makes this 3-point turn. And he's driving past the King Road house, and it's almost like he says, I'm going to go home. I'm not going to do this. And he makes this 3-point turn. He almost like he's making a U-turn because he's talking himself into it, I think. In that one moment where he could have just gone home, but he makes this 3-point turn, and it changes everyone's life. I don't know. I often watch that and say, just don't turn around. Don't turn around. Just go. Just go.
And I guess that turning point, that inflection point is one that we're always trying to understand. And maybe that's the spirit of kind of evaluating these cases, right? We want to better understand why that moment. And again, I don't know that we ever will.
And our last one is from Sherry in Chicago, Illinois. She wants to know what comes after this. How do you begin to move on after covering a case like this for 3 years?
That's a
I
good
think it's
question.
important to have some sort of like closing ritual, right? And I think that right now, this moment is my closing ritual. A lot of the times, some detective friends that I have made over the years, they have a case closure meeting. And, in our case, we're not investigators, but we've been talking about this case for 3 years, and this is my meeting. And maybe, even a symbolic act like lighting a candle or even deleting my spreadsheets is part of maybe this closing ritual that I need to go through. And I need to replace this cognitive loop, checking for case updates every day.
That makes me feel sad for her. Like I have her Google spreadsheet up right now on my computer. Don't delete these. These are like things that, I don't know. I guess. I was just thinking about that a second ago with all these pictures I have of Brian Koberger. What am I going to do with all these pictures? Just, I guess, delete them. It's really, really sad.
Checking for new case documents that have been released on the Idaho website. I need to replace those with healthier alternatives. And, maybe I'll move on to looking at like wrongful convictions or maybe forensic breakthroughs or historical mysteries. I don't know. But I need to replace this cognitive loop. And right now, this is my closure. And talking about it is important too. And I think being able to talk to you guys about this has been therapeutic. And I'm going to miss this as well.
I guess that's the closure here, right? Sometimes the loop has to be closed even if it's still open because there is no closure. There is no motive. And I would hope that those families are all piecing together some semblance of sanity post this. I feel like we could have gone to high school with any of the girls or with Ethan, and frankly, even with Brian. And I guess that's the intersection that will never quite make sense. There is an intersection between what could have been great that is now forever tarnished. This case ripped our hearts out, and that hole will remain. And I'm just sending love and prayers to the families of the victims.
For more information on the case and relevant photos, follow us on Instagram at Kate.
I didn't have the microphone unmuted. That was just the shorter shorter podcast. That was sad hearing Body at the end. Just because, like, I mean, I know her personally, so it's, it was sad because that's what happens after a case, though. I mean, I was telling you guys, I don't think this case will hit me harder, but my first case that I covered when I started true crime was Kylie Rodney. And I'm not, I know things happen and stuff like that. But I'm not a big conspirator. I'm one of those people, if it lines up, it lines up, right? I don't try to look for no jagged lines or anything. And when they came out and they said that Kylie had drowned and it was a dry drowning, because I read the reports and I read everything, I was like, okay, then then this is the end of this case. And I remember standing up that day and like going to walk out of the studio and just like, I felt like I had just literally ran into a brick wall. Like I didn't know what to do. My brain was like short circuiting, it felt like, because there was no more, what's new, what's next, what's going on, what happened today, what did they do, what did they say, who's saying this, who's saying that, who's doing this on their channel. It was so much of always wanting to know all of it, and just absorbing all of it, to where when you're not doing that anymore, it is going to be weird. I mean, when you type, if you just go to my search, like my Google search bar, and you drop it down, it goes YouTube, Brian Koberger, David, Idaho Massacre Podcast, Melody Buzzard, and that's it. Like, so it's going to be one of those. I am going to do a documentary on this case and on Brian Schaefer's. I just haven't been feeling good the last few days. I've been really wanting to do them, but and then that'll probably be like one of the closing lives, I guess, for me. Now, this case, we could always go back to the beginning and go through the whole damn case again, but I think we'll give it time. We'll see what else is out there. Because I think it'll be, I think there's other cases out there that'll, be really good with we could do a lot with our time, especially, if there's any cases that are around locally to me or in the state or around these states up here. I could always drive there and get footage, things of that nature. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on in true crime right now. I feel like y'all are eating. I had pizza. I was not feeling like pizza though. I haven't ate today though. That was all I ate. Oh, Vincent actually brought me home macaroons. They're he knows I like macaroons. Like he knows that I like the way they look. I've never had one before, and they're weird. They taste weird. They taste chewy but crunchy, but like it makes a crunchy noise, but it's chewy. I don't know. Let me know if y'all like macaroons. But he got me those, and he got me a big giant chocolate chip cookie. And I don't know where he got it from, but it was bougie. It was really nice. I was like, this is like, it had like big chocolate chunk, like chips in it. I was like, this is a good cookie right here. I thought about doing Courtney Clenny's trial. We definitely could. I mean, I know the case, like I know a little bit of it. I know that, it happened 4 years ago now, maybe. And that she threw a knife, supposedly, allegedly, she threw a knife and it hit him. After she said that she was abused. Yeah, we'd have to dig into it. Yeah, and I have that one wrote down too, Debbie and Michaels. I have a couple of cases written down. And then Melody Buzzard, we need to do an update on that case because that case is just out of control. I had a map and everything up. Like I mapped out the like the drive and stuff. And then I don't know why I didn't add it into my video that I did just the other day. But I didn't end up adding it in. But we'll probably do that this week. Now tomorrow I may not be on at night. I may come on just during the day. and hang out and just like talk to you guys and talk about some cases and stuff like that. See what we want to cover because on Thursday morning, I go to the dentist and I'm really nervous. I'm really, really nervous. So, yeah, say a prayer for your girl for on Thursday because, man, I just don't want to be going to the dentist. Just pray that I feel good. Like, so I just want to feel good so I could just get up there and, sit there. I didn't. I'll have to look, though. I bet that's a good interview. I haven't seen that, actually. Oh, that's good, Dawn. Oh, Casey, she's going to love it. What kind of dance is she doing? Is she doing like jazz, ballet, tap? All of them? I did all three. I was a dancer. Could not keep a beat to save my life nowadays, probably, but I was a little dancer when I was little. We did recitals and it was so much fun. I remember just the excitement of the recitals and like it was fun. I met a lot of like really lifelong friends from dance. Ooh, I have to go there and look. I want to talk Kata Scott still too. That's another case. There hasn't been like a lot of new stuff coming out on Kata's case, but we should do one. Oh wow, Tracy, that's man. I'll have to look into that. There's a few cases I want to look into. And then there's always cases coming. There's always cases happening. I can't believe how much Melody Buzzard's case is reminding me of Madalena Kojikari. I think we might have to cover Madalena's case here soon too, because it's been a couple months, I think, few months since we've covered it. And I like to cover her case every few months. In the month of December, the last 2 years or 3 years, I've only been on the platform 3 years. So it might have been the last 2 years we've done it. I don't know if we've done it all 3 years, but we do Missing Mondays. Normally the month of December will feature we usually get 5 Mondays out of December, but we'll feature like another missing child that isn't really like heard of or covered. And we'll do like a missing child each Monday of the month of December. And then we'll usually do like fundraisers and stuff like that too. Yeah, we do. We usually do our fundraisers around this time of the year. Look at me. What is it? You get a tag. I got one for a 0 to 3-year-old girl and another for, oh yes. So is that the one at Walmart, baby girl, that you can go and like you could pick someone? I think that's very sweet. That's so sweet. I think anybody that, just receives even just, a Merry Christmas or a thank you or just, a little gift, even if it's just like for the mail delivery guy. I always think it's always so sweet, I think it's always sweet. Yeah, I love dance. Your daughter's going to love it. Tell her she has to be clean. My mom used to say we always had to be clean. Our asses better be clean for the doctor and for court. And I don't know why she thought we would be going to court. Well, I did have to go to court for the dog, so she was right. But she's like, you guys better be in tip-top condition on those two. Those are the 2 times we must be bringing out the church clothes. Well, in church too. Right, Ashley, I know. Kids are expensive. My nieces and nephews are like that. But I love them. My nephew, for years, there's just something about your first nephew. I don't know what it was about him. That little snake got me. That's what it was. But he would get me for a pair of shoes. But I would do it because I paid like a couple $100s for a pair of shoes because Christmas was, in December, and then his birthday was the end of January. So I would make it like a dual present. So that's why he would get such a big gift. But he always took really good care of them too. He never cared. Now my niece, she's into like, I bought her first bra. Her mom probably wanted to break my neck for that, but I did that. And she likes, more girlier things now. But and then now I have a nephew that's 12. He likes anything that's Nike, Under Armour, hunting, just anything that has to do with guns. And then my older two nieces, you can literally give them $20 and a card or a hug, or I'll hold your baby for 30 minutes, go do whatever you want. And they are grateful. They're just like, thank you. Like the older they get, the more grateful they get. Even my nephew, he's 21 now. So they're all getting so old. They're all getting old. And I'm still staying the same age. I don't understand it. I don't think Linda, I don't think they ever thought that he would be capable of doing this. But I think that we're going to end up seeing him on one of those shows like that Evil Lives Here or whatever it is, where they're like, there were signs. And they're going to tell us the signs. I have a feeling 5 years from now, we're going to see a show like that. Right, baby girl, yeah. That's how we are on Christmas. Like if we go to my brother's, we just want the kids to have fun, have a good time. And Vincent will do anything for like my nephew to make sure he has the best day. Like he will be outside playing in the freezing cold for hours. I'm not talking just like a couple hours. I'm talking the whole time we're there. He's really good with that. The neighbor lady asked what she wanted for her birthday. She said a Coach purse. She's like, dang. She's like, I'll give you some raisins. That's so funny. I want a Coach purse. Oh. Hey, well, Coach is expensive, but that's actually could be doable if you do the outlet. If you did the outlet and you got her a little clutch, like the little change purse, you can get those for like $20, $26, $25, I think. That wouldn't be too bad. Not saying the neighbor should get it for her. If that was like one of her like big gifts she wanted. Oh no, Ashley. He didn't know he had a hole in his lung. He's a stronger person than I am. Me too, Dawn. Children are supposed to be happy, and it's supposed to be magical on Christmas, He has a hole in his. Oh my goodness. Speaking of which, is that Friday? I might be. That better be next week. Hold on. My calendar's right here. I think I scheduled myself a bunch of doctor's appointments the week that I don't feel good. Of course I did. Oh no, that's next week. This Friday, I'm supposed to. Yeah, we're not doing that. I'm supposed to go to it's like this little town over to get some stuff done, but I'll just do that next week. Linda, but if you keep them nice, you can have a Coach bag forever. That's why if I buy a purse, like the two purses I use right now are the same exact purse because I'm that person. If I like it in one color, you better believe I'll have it in a double. But it's just, I always buy leather bags that are just plain simple. I think mine are Michael Kors. I've used the same two bags for years. And if you just get if you don't get anything flashy, right? If you don't go to go to Coach and get the big C's all over your bag, because sometimes those start to those will go out of style. You know what I mean? If you get a bright red C bag all over it, that might go out of style more so than if you were to get just a basic leather, black or brown bag. That's what I usually do. Vincent got me, actually I have a book bag too. That's Coach. Vincent got me that. It was our 3rd year anniversary. Oh my God, I've had that bag forever. I've had that bag almost 7 years and it looks brand new. It really looks brand new. Wow. He got me 3 pieces of leather for 3 because it's leather is the anniversary gift. We always do the anniversary gifts, like the wedding anniversary gifts. We always do those. Oh, I got one of mine from Macy's, but they don't have the Macy's here anymore. Actually, I think I got them both from Macy's, but one was a lot more expensive than the other one. I want to say like $80 more or something stupid. And I was like, what? The same bag. They put in a trach. Oh man. I'm sorry, Ashley. I know what that's I don't know what that's like, but I know what that's like to have somebody with a trach, and it's hard. And they want it out, and they don't like stuff like that. My mom had one. It was actually listed on her. Maybe I need to talk to Spencer. Because I don't know. Just like the trach thing. I would like to get someone else's opinion on how that feels. Like, you know what I mean? Like what that does to your just your everyday life, you know? I've had my mouth wired shut, but never a trach. You've been going there all the time just to help. And man, I hope he can come and stay with you, and because I know he'll like that. That would be good. Maybe they could do that before Christmas. Or at least maybe before Thanksgiving. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. Both Ashleys. I better keep Vincent I better start wearing a mask. He can't get sick. He's been doing great. He's been taking the dogs out. He's been feeding me. He's been sleeping. Like he'll usually fall asleep on the couch, which is usually fine with me. I'm usually in the bed with the dogs. But the last couple nights I've just been like, I don't feel good. And so he comes in there with his little computer. He's like, here I am. And then I fall asleep like 2 seconds later. I think he doesn't know what to do with me because I'm not a cuddly person. I'm not like a touchy person. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I don't know. I have like a thing about personal space. And he can be in my personal space anytime he ever wants to be. But I usually get really hot and stuff too. But I felt like good sleep with him last night. I actually slept well. Yeah, I think it's just the change of the weather though that's really got me like just kind of no energy. And y'all know me, I'm usually bouncing around. And I haven't even been cleaning. Vincent's been cleaning. And I'm like, he did like laundry the other day. I loved it. I ain't gonna lie. But I was just like, really? You did the laundry? You haven't done laundry in years. I haven't. I thought they did something with Scott Peterson, but all the evidence came back that it was tested and it was right. That's kind of how I am too, Laura. Yeah. In a way I do, but I don't know. The last couple nights I was like, just get your butt in here. And then and then my fingers have been swelling up. Like, uh-oh. At night, I need to take this this ring off. I'm taking it off right now. I don't know what that means. Why would you swell up? Like my fingers. Like my ring that I normally wear on my first finger, my Aura ring, I have to fit it on like my ring hand. I need like an ice bath or something. Oh, I'm so thankful I got Vincent to take the dogs out because man, we got 2 big dogs. We've got, but they were so good. They laid with me for like 6 hours today. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to take them out. So I did take them out today. This was the first time I got out of the house since I think Saturday. Oh wait, what's today? Oh, it's Tuesday. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Because Saturday I was here. Wait, no, I didn't come online on Saturday. Yeah, so I missed Saturday, Sunday. I don't even know what I missed now. This would have been my 3rd night. So I must have just missed Sunday. It's your Friday today, baby girl? Well, that's awesome. Get the next couple of days off. Vincent was telling me today that he gets he told me he had to work he's on call on Christmas, which is fine. He just has to get to a computer within 15 minutes if he gets a call. but he has off 4 days for Thanksgiving and like 4 days for New Year's. And I'm like, oh, well, let's go do something. Oh, he's only 118 pounds though. Oh, he's a little guy, but he's tall. Does he have a wheelchair and stuff where he can like, transition? Okay, so I think I took off Sunday, Monday. Oh, he's been on one for that long? Oh, I didn't know that, Ash. Oh, man. He can't do anything for himself now. So, you're an angel. You are an angel, Ashley. He's very lucky to have you. I mean, when I couldn't do anything for myself, literally, like after they took the catheter, they took that catheter out. I'll tell you, I hate that day that they took that out. I was like, you sons of bitches. I was doing just fine with my dilaudid pump, my catheter. I was just chilling here, feeling okay. But they wanted me to go to rehab for my bones and stuff, which I understood. But I remember the nurses, like I'd have to use a bedpan. This is kind of TMI, but I'd have to use a bedpan at first. And just the extra care that one nurse in particular took with me to like make sure that I was clean and I felt good and my pride wasn't, on the floor. Like this woman, her name was Lisa. I wrote her name down. You could barely even see. I just scribbled it because she was the best nurse. And it was just a little bit of time that she took with me. Because it's hard to hold yourself up when you're trying to use a bedpan with one arm, with one elbow. My other arm was broke, so I couldn't use the other one. So yeah, I really feel like he's really lucky to have you. Yeah, now we're just chatting. I think I'm gonna jump off here though. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm starting to feel a little better. Like I think a little bit. Maybe I just needed to come on here and talk to you guys. Like I said, I have to go to the dentist on Thursday, so I am a little nervous about that. My tooth, so my crown, they wanted to put a new crown on this tooth, and I said okay, because it was starting to recede. Is that what it's called, recede? And my mom had that problem, and I thought it was just my tooth was doing what her tooth was. I didn't realize that I had already had a root canal done on that tooth. So they put the new crown on, and when they did, they made the post too big or something. So now the crown won't fit on the tooth without falling off. Well, the crown's on there. It's just like now the tooth is loose. So it's not just the crown. Okay, so if the crown was loose, we could take the crown off and replace it. But now that it's the actual tooth and it's in the front of my mouth, it's my second one over from my front tooth on the left. So it's loose. So right now I've been a little paranoid about that falling out, but I go Thursday. And if he wants to touch this thing, if he wants to wiggle it, or wants to even look at it, don't even look at me because it'll fall out even if he looks at me. I have a feeling we're not leaving the dentist without something there. That's the plan. So if I have to call Vincent and cry, I will. That's what I did last time. They tried to pull a tooth. I didn't want him to pull. But I hope you guys all have a better night. I hope Spencer starts feeling better, Ashley, and I hope everybody's family member starts feeling better. Oh man, Ashley, Lauren, they got me in because I kept texting my dentist. She's like a student dental person. And I was like, you go down there. I was like, it's getting looser. We're getting loose. We're it's bad. And then she finally went down there and bothered him so much that they finally called me. But it took months to get in. And I'm like, they want me to give you money. I don't want to give them this much money. I don't even got that much money. We're going to figure that out when we get there. But so we're going to figure it out when we get there. But no, like, that's the one thing. I did hear something, and I don't know if it's true. So anybody that has Medicaid, look it up. But I thought I heard that they were going to start including dental and vision and Medicaid programs. Please, for the love of God, do it. The people that need dental work are the people that can't afford it. Obviously, that's why we're all walking around with no teeth in our mouth. Well, I've got my teeth, but my one's hanging on for dear life. And so now I'm really nervous, but it'll be okay. It won't fall out while I'm, talking or anything. If it did, I would just laugh and be like, oh, that never happened to you before. I don't know what I would say. I know, right, baby girl? That's how I feel. I'm like, that's why I've kept this tooth for so long, or I would have had this replaced probably when my first dentist wanted me to go do it. But it's just crazy. Well, I hope that they get one that people will actually take. Because like mine, I can get mine through Medicaid. Like I'm considered like a survivor or something of a car accident. So I get that paid for, but not my tooth. Not my tooth. Not my tooth. They'll do a surgery on my eye, but not my tooth. I'd rather have my tooth at this point. If you wanted to ask me, do you want your eye or your tooth back? I'll just take the tooth because at this point I'm good with, I noticed the one eye. Hey, Doodlebug. Oh, Doodlebug's sleepy tonight. Medi. I've never heard of that one, Linda. That's a good one. I'm glad that it covers everything. This one just doesn't. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I have Obamacare and it's worked for me, but I don't know if that's just because I was in a car accident. You know what I mean? That could be it. That could be it. Oh my gosh, Casey, can you work with me? I just need one. I think they wanted me to get 4 fake ones. They want the titanium rod and then the screw-in tooth. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm like, I don't like the dentist. They just make me nervous. But I have fallen asleep with the dentist at the same time. So maybe I'll fall asleep this time. I'll wake up and I'll have no teeth in my mouth. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, mine covers my eye doctor too. Not my glasses though. Oh, well, they better not be dropping me because I don't know. I just know I have Medicaid through Ohio. Yeah, it might be different in different states. I think that's what we signed me up for. Because it was like right after my accident. So it had been 10 years ago, 11 years ago this year, 12 years, 11, something like that. I don't even know. 12? It'll be like 12 years or 11 years this year. I can't remember. Well, I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to go see if Vincent's asleep yet. Next week, I have a whole list of doctor's appointments to go to. Hopefully I feel better, but I think I'm starting to feel better. I'm going to wake up Mia and take her out. She's up there. She is. She's the gray dog stayed in here with me. She's laying on the blue chair. Vincent washed the dog beds for me. So, and now her sister's at the door. So that's my cue to go, but I'll be back on tomorrow. I might do like a day live. I may just do just come and hang out with y'all for a little bit. If I don't get to do a night live since I have to go to the doctor so early the next morning. But I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you guys so much for being here tonight and checking up on me. And I appreciate it. So I'll see you guys all later. Have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.
You weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids scream